Hello and welcome to another one of my videos, and in today's video I'm going to be going through a proof sovereign that I bought. And I'm also going to give you a little bit of a story or a proposition potentially. So before I get into it, if you do like my content, you know, to support me by now, you can do that by liking, commenting and subscribing. If you do want to click on an ad, that does help me out, but it's certainly not a prerequisite. Now let's get into the video. So I bought myself a proof sovereign. So this popped up on one of the boards that I kind of sniped from, and yeah, let's get into it. I didn't pay the asking price. I rarely do pay the asking price these days. I had an offer from another UK supplier about a couple of bundles of gold yesterday as well, and once I priced it up, it wasn't for me. There was nothing in it. There was only really downside, so I politely declined. I said to him, I was like, I'm more than happy to hear you out, but I'm not a buyer at those prices. And I won't ever be a buyer at those prices, because at the end of the day, I need to make money as well. That photo hasn't aged well, for sure. Sovereign designer. Yeah, fair play to him. Let's take this out a bit. Yeah, History of Georgian Dragon. Very nice piece. It feels very nice. It's expensive paper, which is what you'd expect. So, a new money of gold. That's kind of interesting. Will I read it later? Yes, because I'm a bit of a nerd. I'm not going to go for it all now. I really like this. This is a nice added touch. So yeah, let's get into it. This is what I was looking at. The COA. Reversal 2005 shows Timothy Node's dramatic interpretation of the battle between St. George and the Dragon. This is actually a really unloved sovereign if you compare it with its peers. Everyone loves the 2002. The 2012 is a bit iffy. The 1989 comes out smelling the roses. The 2017 people really like because it's a throwback. But this one here is like, it's cartoony and not everyone likes it. You get some absolute lovers of the design, but it does certainly split opinion. So only 12,500 sovereigns were authorized for worldwide distribution. No, another 5,000 sovereigns have been authorized. So there's potentially 17,500 sovereigns. Now, I was cheekily having a chat with someone I know. There's the coin, by the way. And I said to them, I was like, if you had enough money, you could just corner this market. It was an off-the-cuff comment. It was a throwaway comment. And then I got thinking about it last night, and I was like, well, actually, there's some merit in that, because if you could get your hands on, say, 10% of the market, you control the price. You just set the price at what you think is worthy of it. So you look at other sovereigns that are unique and proof in design, and you could just set the price high. So, for example, if you looked at the 89 or 2017, you see that they've broken 1,000. Knowing that you've got the reserve, you just say, I want £1,000 for it. And then people can either choose to adopt that pricing with theirs, or they can sell it on the cheap. But you can move the market for sure. That does happen. You know, I don't doubt for a second that there's dealers who've used that tactic who've got a lot of bank. Now, would I do it myself? It's debatable. Now, if I built up a collection of, say, 30 or 40 of these, you know, by the time I built it up, the prices probably would have risen anyway. So I doubt I'd have the power to really move it. But in terms of pricing, that's on the capsule. That is on the capsule. Quickly double check that. In terms of the pricing, I don't really have much power over it because the market is too spread. So if there's 17,500, you probably need, I'd say, 2,000 of these coins to really, really move it. No, I don't know. Like, I don't know 100% if I'm correct. I'm just saying from a strategic point of view, it kind of makes sense. Like, usually I kind of unscrew the cap and show, you know what, if this blows up in my face, I really hope it doesn't. Beautiful coin. Again, it's not a well-loved design. It will grade well. It will grade well. That's not a problem. So yeah, if you could kind of tap up 10% of the market, I'm sure you could move the price. And then that becomes a point of, well, how much did you average paying for 10% of the market? Now, if you're paying £500-600 and you can just set the price at 1,000, that is certainly worth your time. Believe me, that really is. But it's a case of finding the coins and finding them at the price that you're happy to pay. It's an interesting proposition. It's not one I will be pursuing. I do not have that level of bank, and also I think morally it's kind of dubious. It's just pump and dump, really. You don't know what's going to happen when you dump all the sovereigns on the market, and you don't know if you can even move that sheer amount of quantity. You'd have to ping them off one by one, and if you've got, say, 2,000 of them, where are you going to find the buyers? So in theory, yeah, you could make a lot of money, but in practice, it's a really tedious way of doing it. I'd rather just get a coin in, slap 50 quid on it, get another coin in, slap 50 quid on it, or on my bread and butter where I'm making small margins continuously. Now, this wasn't the coin that I had a proposition for yesterday in terms of what would I sell for a loss. I'm waiting on that set to come through. I was also offered a 1989 half sovereign today. The price is okay. I'm waiting on better pictures. So I've bought from this guy before, and I'm also waiting on, he had a Manx cat, which is really, really funny because I got this Manx cat in. I got a couple of Manx cats in, and I sold them to this lady I deal with, and she was over me, and she's like, "Oh, can you get me the set?" And me being me was like, "Yeah, I'll get you the set. Don't worry about it." And they're like hen's teeth. And then it would have been 4 I've sourced in the space of a month, which, well, not sourced 4 that's come to me in the space of a month, which is madness. That's not really how they work. That it's just like London buses. They don't turn up and then you see 2 of them, and it really, really strange. But in terms of could you corner a market? In theory, yes. Would you really want to do it? It depends on how much bank you had and how long you was waiting to sit on them. If you saw it as an investment over the next, say, 20 years, it's kind of feasible. But in terms of my bank and my time frame, and also morally, I just think it's kind of a bit. I'm not a pure capitalist, I'm more of a social capitalist. I just think it's a bit wrong. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed the coin and my thoughts today, and I hope you have a good one.